Hey everybody, I'd like to share with you a little bit of a deeper sort of subject. The reason I called it Formlessness versus Chaos is because the two are very similar, but or rather it feels similar depending on which way you're looking at it. And this is where we are right now. Right now we are in a period or measured moment. I would call it formlessness. For us to understand what is formlessness is to know that all forms, as in all formulations, interactions and connections within its observation, is formlessness connects with formlessness, or forms connect with forms. I'm trying to give you a sort of an explanation that light connects with light, energy connects with energy. So if you are formlessness, that means you are consciousness. That means you are great spirit, in plural, experiencing yourself. So that's what I'm trying to explain to you when I bring up the word formlessness, because consciousness is formlessness. And to observe creation, which is essentially also formlessness or formless, we observe the nature, or we observe nature in its motion. So for you to understand what is wind, you see the trees move. And that's how you'll know. This particular motion we are also observing through the nature of ourselves. You observe your motions by viewing and experiencing your emotions towards a particular thing. Another thing for us to take note of is this reality, this specific reality, displays an ever-present observation or motion of the natural process of the evolution of our consciousness. We can see our consciousness because we observe the motion of the nature of forms and the interactions with formlessness. So consciousness is formlessness, remember that, and to observe formlessness, or to observe consciousness in motion, is to observe the nature of the expression. So I hope that makes sense. If you don't understand, please ask me questions, drop me a line. I'm very happy if you do so. I try to answer every question that I can. It is a very specific topic with regards to where we are in right now. As I've said in the previous video, we are experiencing something that feels like it's a Mobius coil. And for you to actually experience a kind of harmony, but also in a chaotic or in a formless manner, is dependent on how you observe and how you feel. Bear in mind, this is an alchemical way of trying to explain my observation in terms of where we are going, what we are going through right now. We can see that that which is without form is vast. Okay, so I'm using another example here. If you want to observe formlessness, you have to look at something like the ocean or water, a body of water, as I've brought up. I think I've mentioned this before. Water is vast and expansive. It is unlimited. It is infinite, and it is timeless. It is an infinite, timeless body which is similar to your consciousness, to consciousness. So what I'm trying to explain to you is the consciousness of the God mind, because we are in the consciousness of what we are experiencing. And if I say God mind, I'm using it as the best, most available example of Great Spirit with regards to what we are experiencing. So God mind is experiencing an awakening of consciousness or a changing of consciousness in a particular direction and through us. And as this is happening, we're feeling the motions of these energies. We're feeling how we're wanting to experience nature. We want to experience this, we want to experience that, and we have desires, and we want to learn to merge, we want to go back home, we want to learn to become more, we want to learn to just run away, we want to take ourselves out, we don't want to do that, we want to live forever. These are the things that we are going through right now. These are all a myriad of thoughts and things that come to us through these motions. It's very similar to an example of personal experience of being on a roller coaster ride where I experienced the strangest emotional and metaphysical energies when the roller coaster would go up, loop, and back down, and up, loop, and back again. I would experience, I think, 10 emotional responses to the way that I am affected by the motion of where I'm going. From feeling ecstatically exhilarated to very scared to very angry, in variations and in spectrum of that. But that is similar to what I'm explaining to you where we are right now. So what we need to also look into is the way we can observe consciousness some more, or in a much more different way, is also to look at the soul. Now, to explain what the soul is an immutable, infinite segment or portion of your infinite consciousness. It's just a little snapshot or a layer that wraps around you. Okay, so I have mentioned the explanation of this before, so please have a look a little further. I'll give you some details on where to find that. The personality, the personalized character of your story is observed in the solar system. Hence, the soul is the character to play in the solar system, or the story of the solar system. As we know that this is all an entire scripted experience anyway. Universe. Unoverse, one verse, word. All your emotions, feelings and experiences are connected to your personality coming from each lifetime. I think that's what I was trying to explain to you about the roller coaster ride, where you're having all of these emotions and things all coming at you at once, and you're trying to discern which one is what. And the way it's happening that way is because of the electromagnetic energy from the actual changes in the system. And of course, we are contributing to that as well. So the more we are becoming aware of these things, the more we start to feel like we are experiencing these things as well. So the opposite of these kind of feelings of chaos is to become aware that it is actually formlessness. When you're becoming aware that it's formlessness, you already start to feel that you're more in a calmer state of observation, and therefore your emotions that come to you are just for you to observe and to discard, purge, or to go towards. There are right now, aside from the natural laws of this universe, there are no rights or wrongs in particularly what you're choosing in your thoughts, because you're still going to end up going to the same place eventually. It might just take a little longer, or it might just happen quicker, but right now there's this spatial or like you're inside space, you're in the motionless, you're like just in the air right now. So now is your chance to decide what you want to draw in and use, so that you can actually change your path going forward. If you didn't live a life, or feel that you've lived a life that was positive for you personally, this is your life, then here now, right now, you have the chance to basically turn the page over and recreate a new path for yourself. It doesn't matter what you're going to need to put in to make it work. It's more a changing of your consciousness, your thoughts, your inner compass to take you to where you would like to go. Because literally, this is where we are right now. We're in the air. I personally would see this as a path of healing and reforming and re-establishing a new process of creation within oneself. The soul is automatically readjusting its individuality because the God mind or Great Spirit is adjusting its purpose and evolution, thus purging of old master codes to generate new codes. Or these codes are not necessarily codes, but processes or experiences. When you as consciousness experience life in a particular way, Joe Soap's life, Joe Soap has a soul. You are not Joe Soap, but you experience the life of Joe Soap, and Joe Soap's soul is only giving you a small summarized version of your of your memory, of your personality. But that small summarized personality comes through Joe Soap's ego, which is actually a reflection or an experience or an expression of Joe Soap's soul. Thus, to bring a balance within all of these elements, you as great consciousness, when you're observing yourself as Joe Soap with the soul and Joe Soap's ego, have to instate that you would require harmony to take place. A thought, feeling it, working it, from Joe Soap observing back to consciousness, observing back to Joe Soap, and so on. You create that same thing, and this is what's happening to us. We're bouncing back and forth and having this feedback with the God mind. If there's conflict that comes up, it's obvious that that there might be some conflict that will come up, but that's because of what there was initially. There's also a great encouragement of transhumanism, wanting to live forever, using this whole magic thing to make it live forever, because whoever is pushing this agenda forward is scared shitless of dying. That's really what it is. So when you're observing this, be mindful that you don't become trapped in that person's story, that fearful story that they're projecting out, whether it's through media or another person's life. We're not just talking about the ones who are pulling all the little strings in terms of media. We're not talking about them. We're not talking about the whole tainted projector lens, one-eye thingy. We're not talking about them. We're speaking about everybody who's afraid of something that may produce that or project that emotional energy out for you to become trapped into. Sometimes you may enter it voluntarily. Sometimes you may enter it without being aware that you do. Therefore, find yourself in the awareness that you are formlessness, that you are in your Zen, or that you are in the null zone, or that you are in the 0 point, or whatever the many words there are for that space. I prefer to call it formlessness. It's less limiting, that you then become aware that as you are formlessness, that you become aware that all of these things are literally all just stories playing itself out. And while you're in formlessness, the awareness of formlessness, to be aware that your soul is essentially feeding back to you backwards and forwards, and that you are in control of that. And if you resolve that emotional energy that you know you may have experienced a problem with or a hitch with, whatever it may be, that in that moment that you change your reality like that, just because you are aware of who you are in your entirety, your wholeness. I'm taking a deep breath, and basically I want to say to you, you know what, we're all in this together, and we are doing actually well, irrespective of all the things that are happening in the planet. Just be mindful to not become trapped in a story that is not yours, that you're not the author of. Your own story, be involved in your own story, but assist. Respond, do not react. Reacting is becoming reacting in that person's story, so be mindful. Don't react. Respond. Anyway, this has been amazing, and I want to say thank you very much for all your support and your love. Again, I always say thank you, and I'm acknowledging you as well, and that we are in this journey. Look after yourselves, have a beautiful day, have an amazing evening. Just focus on the moment now. Connect with your dog, your cat, your pet, your person, your love, your baby, your child, your home, the wall, the grass. And connect fully with all of that right now. If you feel you need to have some time out, do that. And know that you are formlessness. Formlessness is a word for consciousness. And that consciousness is, and you're having a change of thought towards a greater harmonious pattern or pathway with regards to nature, with regards to the changing of this world. You're more in control of than you realize. Thank you. Bye.